Good evening, San Bernardino. I hope you guys are having a great Tuesday. I wanted to jump on in tonight so we can go over what is coming up for our meeting and you guys can see what's happening. So we'll make sure that we are live and anybody that wants to join can join. So cool. All right. We are up and running. So this isn't a super big agenda and there actually isn't a lot on it. So this could go pretty fast before some of you jump on. But of course, this will be posted to Instagram and Facebook. So watch it as your leisure. And let's get into it. Okay. All right, so we are going into our regular closed session to begin at 4 p.m. And the only thing on for closed session is our conference with our labor negotiations. And if you have something that you want to discuss pertaining directly to the labor negotiations, you can speak on that. But that is the only thing. And then at 5 o'clock, we will do the invocation and the Pledge of Allegiance. If there's anything that is decided and we vote on it, the city attorney will report out. And then we have two presentations. So we will do the proclamation for Juneteenth week for the city of San Bernardino, which Juneteenth is on June 19th. So that is a holiday. And then a Citizen of the Month, Maribel Santa Cruz from Studio D for the First Ward, will be receiving a Citizen of the Month award. So congratulations. Then we have a public hearing, so the fiscal year 25 through 29 consolidation plan and the 25 through 26 annual action plan. Hi, Tim, thanks for joining. So this is with the block grant and the home investment partnership and the emergency solutions grant program. So we'll look into this. Somebody had asked if we can kind of go over it real quick. So this has come before us a couple times this year, just like in segments. And so what we're solidifying is the funding and putting it like a whole plan together. And so this is asking us to authorize the acceptance and allocations for the fiscal year 25-26, and then to adjust the budget as needed, and then approve the draft community block grant and emergency solution grant subrecipient draft agreements. So this is, we'll just kind of give you the executive summary on things. So right here. All right, so all right, so the staff presents the 25 through 29 consolidated plan and with the city of San Bernardino review and approve the federally required planning documents. So this is required for us to do this and guides the city in the use of over $4 million annually. The U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development HUD funding provided through the Community Development Block Grant, Home Investment Partnerships, and Emergency Solution Grants programs. Comments and recommendations from the City Council and the public will inform the final plans, helping ensure alignment with the city's goals of equitable investment. So if anybody was going to receive the CDBG funds, they would have been able to apply during that period. So that was open by last year. Our current plan expires on June 30th of this year. And so this will give us a good outline for the next 4 years. And then on May 13th, 2025, HUD announced the fiscal 2025 allocation funding approval for the city. And the city anticipates receiving approximately 2.7 million in CDBG and 1.1 million in home and 241,347 in ESG funds. So this is pretty good for us. So you guys can see the breakdown. Let me go down to it. Because, and like I said, some of this has already been a part of it. So there was a notice of funding that went out in the paper for local nonprofits to apply. That all happened. We received our list for those that did want to be a part of it. And let's look at the recipients. This is a really good report. So So like for the home fund, the city allocates home funds in accordance with the consolidation plan and annual action plan priorities. The program provides funding for developing and rehabilitating affordable rental and ownership housing, assisting low-income households with home buyer down payment assistance, supporting nonprofit housing development partners, leveraging public and private investments to increase supply of quality, affordable housing. So these are really important for us to have in what we're doing in the city. So here we go. All right, so we've got the 25-26 grant fund allocation. So $2,712,293 for CDBG funds, 241,347 for ESG, and then $1,149,333.55 for the home fund. Now, if you guys remember, what we're really excited about is being able to, hi Sarah, thanks for watching, be a part of working with the Jamboree project that's coming to 5th and Meridian in the 6th Ward. This is going to be a workforce affordable housing project, and really be able to bring in some really good quality homes. Jamboree is a great organization that's done wonders in other parts of the Inland Empire, and so we're really excited to have them. We have homeless assistance with the Salvation Army for $167,259. Now, they have been doing an absolutely outstanding job with homeless assistance, being out and on the streets, providing resources. So I'm so happy. I know, from where things took off last year till this year with having to get a new service provider and catching on with the Salvation Army. This is really good, and it's worked out well. We have the $1,074,000 for the SB Hope campus, that also been known as the Navigation Center. So this is really where you get to see the breakdown of where the money is being moved, and this is what is important. So just know it's all accounted for. Hi, Lorrea, thank you for joining. So the city is required to use a portion of CDBG entitlement to repay outstanding obligations under HUD and Section 108 Loan Guarantee Program in accordance with the law. And so that's noted. The Section 108 activity is ongoing. CDBG obligations for 17.43 acres of commercial property on Highland. So Arden and Guthrie. There is one remaining payment of $652,290.90 due August 1st. The city is moving forward with selling the property to a developer who will build a multi-tenant commercial shopping center. So for all of you that are wondering what is going on with Arden and Guthrie, here it is. In accordance, the city is required to affirmatively further fair housing as a condition of receiving CDBG funds. To comply with this requirement, the city allocates funds to support fair housing education, outreach, consulting, and enforcement activities. These services are essential to addressing discriminatory practices, promoting housing choices, and ensuring equal access to housing for all residents, regardless of race, color, national origin, religion, gender, familiar status, or disability. So part of the CDG funds go with the Inland Fair Housing Mediation Board to provide fair housing and landlord-tenant mediations, which is required. The San Bernardino Police Department's Peace Team, which is also doing a phenomenal job in conjunction with the Salvation Army, delivers outreach and services to individuals experiencing or are at risk for homelessness, aiming to improve access to housing, support referrals that promote stability and prevent homelessness. So one of the things that we had a conversation about at Coffee with a Cop this morning, and I know as we are moving to clean up encampments, the Sergeant Luna said something that I think is extremely important when we think about cleaning up one area. Not everybody accepts help that are in these encampments. They're not required to. So when you clean up one camp, those that do offer, who are offered help and take it, they go somewhere. The other people migrate to somewhere else in the city. And so that's kind of this cat and mouse game of what is going on, and when you're reporting homelessness. It could be either right into the wash, it could be down the street, it could be across the city. But understand that the peace team and the Salvation Army are doing everything that they can. Now, there is a discussion coming at some point about what to do in the interim. And that is a big question. That's what a lot of people are facing are, what do you do with the people who don't want help? And that we are continually chasing around that area. And there is some legislation coming up in the beginning of the year, of next year, that I think is going to provide that, some teeth in legislation that allow us to address this, but there really is there is a gap in between resistance to help and providing services and making sure that people take services that need services. So it's an interesting conversation, but everybody's dealing with it. But I just wanted you to know that everybody that we are literally doing what we can to make sure that people have opportunities to get off the streets. All right, then we got the Cedar House provides comprehensive support for individuals facing drug and alcohol addiction, including treatment, outreach, and a pathway to education and employment. So what's really cool is also with this Cedar House, although it's not CDBG funding, it is, we are working with VARP, the Veterans Alcohol Rehabilitation Program that is located on D Street. And they have taken, or were awarded the grant for Waterman corridor cleanup and outreach. So that's another great organization that is doing the same thing. So there are actually two organizations that we are working with. So that's very cool. Hi, Keith. Hi, Barbara. Thank you guys for joining. Then you have the Pearl Transit, so provides custom dentures, aligners, and bite guards at no cost, dental prosthesis for low-income San Bernardino individuals. And then you have Whole Person Care Clinic. The Claire provides short-term housing and supportive care for up to 160 individuals recovering from medical or behavioral conditions. The program offers up to 6 months of service to promote recovery and connect participants to long-term housing. So very, very great organizations that we're working with. A lot of things are happening in moving places. So I hope that kind of covered it for you guys, because it's a lot. But again, you can come, you can speak on this separately. If this is something, you just sign up specifically to speak to these programs, and that is going to be the public hearing. So after the public hearing, then the city manager will provide his update on what's been going on. Hi, Mike, thanks for joining. Hi, Des, thanks for joining. And then we've got public comments. So if there's anything that you want to talk about on the agenda or off the agenda, you are more than welcome to. And then we're going to do the consent calendar. So these are items that are not discussion, but these are things that we can ask questions about. So the consent calendar covers meeting minutes. So we're going to be approving the minutes from March of last year, May of last year, September of last year, and October of last year. And so I had asked about this a couple meetings ago. You guys were asking again. It's just, these are coming through the city clerk. There was a backlog of, years, literally years, where minutes were not done. You would have to go through the videos to catch something. So this is all just catching up. Luckily, we're in 2024, so hopefully all the minutes will be completed and approved soon. But yeah, that's why you're seeing it was just a backlog of minutes. So number 5, we have award a homeless resources service agreement with Benjamin E. Jones Community Resource Center for rapid rehousing services in the amount not to exceed $600,000 through the Encampment Resolution Fund. So we'll take a look at this. I know some of you were like, hey, how does this work? And again, a lot of stuff towards housing. This was on page 406. So, okay. All right, so the city of San Bernardino is launching a rapid rehousing program through the Encampment Resolution Fund. to transition 60 individuals from the so this is what I was talking about on Waterbed. So the prioritized 5.2-mile encampment along Waterman Avenue into permanent housing. So a total of $1,392,432 in grant funds has been allocated across two key components. Procured subcontractor funded at $600,000 for housing placement services, including case management, house navigation, and landlord engagement, and a rental assistance and landlord incentives component funded at $792,432 for direct rental subsidies and landlord incentives. So this went out a competitive notice of funding availability. The nonprofit Benjamin E. Jones was selected for its experience, readiness, and adherence to the Housing First principles. And then staff is seeking for us to allocate these funds. And this program would operate between June 18th, so starting tomorrow, through June 30th of 2027. And so there's another way that we are taking people into housing that can be prepared for housing. And we talk about this a lot. So this is really housing for people that can be in housing. Not everybody is there at that step. So this is what makes a rapid rehousing component good to have. Okay, then let's see, are these funds from the 25 million? No, this is, oh, let me see. Are these funds from the 25? If you can, 25 million, are you talking about the, sorry, ARPA funds? If you could help me out, sorry. But I'll check. Hang on. Great question. It's always good to find out where our money's coming from. If I can find out what page I was on. Okay, 406. This money, I believe, I want to say we pulled directly from the general budget. If I remember correctly, we allocated this, but let me. No, here we go. Okay, so the Encampment Resolution Fund established under Senate Bill 197 and funded through SB 101 is a state initiative designed to support targeted interventions. And on April 18th of 2024, the city of San Bernardino was awarded $4.5 million through the ERF3 to implement comprehensive strategy addressing the Waterman corridor. So as part of the encampment resolution strategy, the city allocated a portion of those funds. So that's where this is coming from. This is not for the navigation center. No, this money came separately just through the encampment resolution fund. Good question. Hi, Donna. Thanks for joining. Okay, very good. Very good. All right, next we have the approval of the commercial and payroll disbursements for the purchase cards. So you can always go through, see what we're spending our money on. And then for you financial nerdies out there, the investment portfolio, which is always something I know a couple of you look at. So that's there. Then authority to execute a no-cost site host agreement between the city of San Bernardino and EV charging solutions for electric vehicle charging stations. So this is cool. They're going to put charging stations at the Feldham Library. So if you are driving through town, or if you have one and you want to take a stop, then you will be able to park at the library, go in, read a book, and charge your car. So awesome. Very cool. Then this is to approve a 2-year professional services agreement between the city and Dixon. I will kill his last name like I had for years. So for project management consulting and service supports for the city's ERP software implementation, not to exceed $384,000. So the city's enterprise resource planning software, this would be a contractor for those services. And that is through finance. And then approving job classifications and amending the salary schedule. So the city, we are establishing a full-time programming traffic assistant classification, and then adding 1 programming traffic assistant position to the IT department. as well as amending the compensation for the police dispatchers, 1 and 2, and the police dispatcher supervisor classifications. So in looking at that, we're trying to make sure, as anybody that's ever called 911 knows, the one that answers the phone as a dispatcher is very important, and making sure that we are competitive, at least as much as we can be in making adjustments. And then amending the bargaining group and salary range for police dispatcher manager and police records managers, because they should be in a managing group. So that's good. And then we have a vendor service agreement with Intelletsi to expand cloud host voice operating phone systems. So we're still upgrading the phones, and this has come, I think, before as part of a discussion. So we're just finally solidifying the funds for it. And then amendment to goods purchased agreement for professional police supplies, increasing not to exceed 240,000. So the police department received a grant and had additional funding. So they are going to be able to boost their purchasing from 100,000 to 240,000. And then good purchase agreement with Dooley Enterprise Incorporated for duty and training ammunition in an amount not to exceed 285,000. And so this was a year-to-year contract, and now it's going to be a 5-year contract, because I guess this is the only vendor that supplies a specific type of ammunition that the police use. So that way they don't have to keep coming back and forth every year. So very streamlined there. And then a request to proceed with the intrusive waste limits investigation and waste characterization work plan at the Waterman landfill, and contracting with Tetra Tech. So there was a landfill in the city, and what I do plan on doing is pulling this one and asking the director to give an update, because it's a lot. And so the city is doing its part to make sure that all efforts for safety are in place. And so I won't bore you here. I'll let that stand for tomorrow night. But yeah, we'll Director Lynn Merrill will be able to give us a good understanding of what this is about. So and then award a task order with Rick Engineering for the evaluation of uncontrolled crosswalks citywide in the amount of $149,670. So if you remember, when just like a couple meetings ago, we approved the adjustment of speed limits. And part of that conversation was talking about the crosswalks in areas around schools, the speed limit around schools. So this is that second part that is now coming back. And so it's really great that we're moving in this direction, and we'll be able to have, someone look into it and see what's good, what's not good, what's safe, what's unsafe. So that's what number 15 is going to be about. And then items to be considered for future meetings, employee job reclassification report to be provided to the mayor and city council on a quarterly basis. You guys were asking about this. For me, this isn't in the purview of the council, so I'm not really sure. I did ask, this is something that is managed through the city manager and through the departments with the city manager. So I guess it would just be us getting a list. What we would do with that list, I don't know. Maybe just a receive and file. But to me, this is something that we would see during the budget. If things are changing. So, but that's to be considered for us to get those reports. What I've asked and made sure, because when we were allocating the funds to the nonprofits for the homeless initiatives, was for us to start getting quarterly reports on that. And so I guess this will be one of many quarterly reports. So, okay, guys, that is all she wrote for our next council meeting. And I thank you guys so much for watching. If you have any additional questions, please don't hesitate to ask. And thank you so much. We will talk soon. Have a great night.